Hey everyone, welcome back to Enigmatic Echoes, where folklore, dark history, and the unexplained collide. I'm your host Jazz, and tonight we're talking about something that honestly makes me side-eye every peaceful lake I've ever romanticized. Because you know how people always say, water is calming, healing, peaceful. Yeah, those people have clearly never met the Neck, or as it's known in different regions, Näcken in Sweden, Nacken in Norway, and Nix in Germany. Different names, same problem, something in the water that doesn't just drown you, it lures you, and honestly, that's worse. Because at least if something chases you, you can run. But what do you do when it convinces you to come closer? So let's get grounded first. The Neck, or Näcken, is a shape-shifting water spirit rooted in Germanic and Scandinavian folklore. And this isn't just some obscure myth. This belief goes back centuries, long before modern borders even existed. We're talking about traditions passed down in Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and Germany. And what makes this entity so fascinating is that it doesn't rely on brute force. It uses music. The Neck is most commonly described as a male figure, often naked or partially clothed, sitting near rivers, lakes, or waterfalls, playing a violin or fiddle. And not just casually playing, no. The music is described as hypnotic, beautiful, impossible to ignore. The kind of sound that makes you stop walking, even if you were in a hurry, even if you knew better. Here's where things shift from eerie to deeply unsettling, because the Neck doesn't just play music for fun. The music is bait. In Swedish folklore, there are stories of travelers hearing violin music near the water, especially at dusk, midnight, or early morning fog, and they feel compelled to follow it, step by step, closer to the shoreline, closer to the water, until suddenly they're too close. And whether they slip or are pulled or simply walked in, they disappear, drowned. And here's the disturbing part. Some legends say the victims don't even realize what's happening. They're smiling, calm, almost like they've accepted it. The Neck isn't limited to one form, and this is where German variations come in. In Germany, the Nix is often depicted as a beautiful man or woman, sometimes resembling a mermaid-like figure, sometimes appearing full human, approaching near water, calling out, or just being seen. But there's another form, one that feels almost deceptively innocent. The Neck can appear as a horse, yes, a calm, quiet horse near the water's edge, inviting, still, waiting. Children especially were warned, do not climb onto strange horses near rivers, because once you do, you can't get off, and the horse walks straight into the water. Now here's where folklore gets layered, because like many legends, this wasn't just meant to scare people, it was meant to protect them. In regions filled with deep lakes, fast-moving rivers, cold, unpredictable water, drowning was a very real danger. So stories like the Neck became warnings, a way to say, don't wander near water alone. Don't trust what you hear in the dark. Don't follow something just because it feels beautiful. Because danger doesn't always look dangerous. Sometimes it sounds like music. Now, this is where things get uncomfortable, because there are accounts, stories passed down, of people who claim to have experienced something they couldn't explain. One account from Sweden tells of a young boy walking home near a river at dusk. He heard a violin, soft, echoing. He followed it, not because he wanted to, but because he felt like he had to. And when he reached the water, he saw a man sitting on a rock, playing, but something was off. The boy later described that the man's legs weren't fully visible, almost like they blended into the water. And when the boy stepped closer, the music stopped. Silence. The man looked up and smiled. And that's when the boy ran. He said later, he didn't know why he ran, only that something in him finally realized it wasn't safe. Here's a twist most people don't expect. The neck isn't always malicious. In some versions, it can teach music. Yes, seriously. There are stories of musicians seeking out the neck, offering small sacrifices, like food or drink, in exchange for learning to play the violin beautifully. But there's a catch. There's always a catch. If the offering isn't good enough, or if the student disrespects the spirit, the lessons stop, and sometimes, so does the student. As Christianity spread through Scandinavia, the neck image began to change, from a mysterious spirit to something more sinister, almost demonic. There are accounts where the neck fears church bells. It cannot say the name of Christ. It becomes weaker in holy spaces. And in some stories, it begs for salvation, which adds something deeply unsettling, because now, it's not just a predator, it's something trapped, something aware of what it is, and unable to change it. Let's bring this into the present, because even if you don't believe in water spirits, the idea behind the neck still feels real. How many times have you followed a sound you couldn't explain, felt drawn to something without knowing why, ignored your instincts because curiosity won? That pull, that quiet voice that says, just a little closer. That's what the legend captures perfectly. It's not about the water. It's about the moment you override your own fear. So imagine this. You're walking near water. It's quiet. Too quiet. Then you hear it. A violin. Soft. Beautiful. And it feels like it's meant for you. No one else reacts. No one else seems to hear it. Just you. And suddenly, you're not thinking anymore. You're moving toward it, toward the shoreline, towards something waiting just beneath the surface. And the worst part? You don't feel afraid. Not yet. So yeah, next time you're near a lake and you hear something that sounds like a private concert, maybe don't RSVP. Just saying. Because not everything that calls to you has good intentions. And if the water ever feels like it's watching you, maybe it is. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. You can find visuals at Enigmatic Echoes on YouTube, where visuals bring these stories even closer. And if you want more eerie content, follow us on Instagram. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and maybe stay away from the water after dark. Good night.